If you have, I will present the agenda. We have many speakers today. And if you have any question, please post it in the chat. We will answer them at the end. We will first have Maruška Strah speaking about the partnership we have between Women in Aerospace Europe and the World Space Week. Then she will present what the World Space Week wanted to achieve, in fact, with the theme of this year. We will present afterwards the initiative on the white papers of Women in Aerospace Europe. And we will afterwards give the opportunity to each of the working groups. We have 3 of them present what they are working on and to give you some teasers on what we will be discussing later. So during the World Space Week, we will have 3 panels around each of these topics. And at the end, we will close the meeting, giving the opportunity to each of the participants to raise any question or any comment. So we are really keen also in hearing your opinion and voices on what we want to share. So please, Maruška Strah, let us know, or let everybody know about our partnership.
Thank you so much, Diana. It's really a pleasure to be here today with you because this partnership between the World Space Week Association and the Women in Aerospace in Europe has been an ongoing story for several years now. But last year, we decided to further deepen the partnership because our board of directors decided to name World Space Week 2021 theme to be Women in Space. So we got together with the aim to really strengthen the partnership and to identify the hurdles that women are facing in the space sector together. I do believe that we have been achieving the first steps in this, and of course it has to be an ongoing process that will hopefully continue for the years to come. But what I believe is the main action that came out of this partnership is a conversation that we have and sharing stories. In World Space Week Association, our goal for 2021 was to identify the hurdles and obstacles that women are facing in the space sector that are unique to women, possibly propose solutions, if possible. And what was, and even I would say more important, was to really provide role models for the next generation, for the younger girls, to encourage women to join STEM and arts, to join professions that are working in the space sector, and to showcase the accomplishments of women and to celebrate them. One thing that we've done in the past year was starting a social media campaign where we introduced women who significantly contributed to sciences and to the space sector. And we prepared posts and their photos and names and really showed what was done by women. These accomplishments should not go unnoticed because they really contribute to the betterment of the whole sector, the whole world, not just one gender or the other or just the workforce, but they really contribute to humankind. And with this, we received a lot of positive responses from the younger generation that was inspired. And together with WIA-Europe, we can further showcase these accomplishments and really make sure that the role models have a voice and can be seen by the public. I would, of course, like to invite you all to celebrate Women in Space this October 4 to 10. As every year, this year is very close to my heart. I'm not going to lie. But more about that later on when we come to the reports of the working groups and everything that we've been doing together.
Thank you very much, Maruška. And I really loved also the perspective you were giving, that you wanted to share success stories and really give role models to the new generation. So to give visibility to all these women who are doing a great job and sometimes tend not to be as visible as men, even if they are still doing some great things. So for the ones who don't know our association, so Women in Aerospace Europe, so we are covering all Europe, and we gather men and women who try to advance this topic and to find a good equilibrium between the amount of women and men at all levels. And always when you are working on these topics of diversity and inclusion, it affects all kind of diversity and inclusion. So when you work on these topics on gender, it helps also people who are not fitting the standards, or people who are from different ages, from different backgrounds, and so on. And we are really try to gather all these needs, and we are a big community, in fact. So now entering a little more on the white paper. So why did we decided to have these white papers? Well, in fact, we wanted to focus on issues which are of concern for our association and community. And we wanted to give solutions, but based in facts. And as well to share what works and doesn't work. So really to give recommendations, because we see very often that people have very good intentions, but they are just applying things that don't work, and we know that don't work, and sometimes are counterproductive. So in this case, we wanted to give tools to the persons who are interested in progressing in these topics, so that we really make a big step forward. So as we said, we wanted to base the things on facts. So we decided we wanted to base on research, so on papers, and as well on practical experience. So not only theory, but we also wanted to have the feedback of our members or community we could reach, to have concrete examples of how are the things in practice. And to know, well, when you have an issue, you first need to know where you are. So one of the topics of the papers, and we will cover in the papers, is what is the situation for each of the issues we are working on, and then to give examples of things that can work. And not only we will not be speaking, or the recommendation will not only be speaking to individuals or organizations, but we really want to cover all stakeholders who have something to say, or who could influence the output of these issues, because all these topics are complex ones, and there are many different stakeholders. It can be from parents to individuals, to countries, to organizations. So we are really trying to tackle the topic from all angles, which is essential for these complex topics. So we started in May with 3 pilots, because it's the first time we are having these working groups in Women in Aerospace Europe. And we selected the issues related to STEM, so the access of young women and the motivation of a young woman to do STEM studies. Then we also wanted to tackle and to cover the topic of skill gap, because we know we are having a huge challenge in Europe, but also in the world, to find talented people to work in aerospace or in some concrete skills. And we also wanted to work on this topic. And the last one we selected for this pilot is the C-suits. So how come that we are still having sometimes incompetent men accessing C-suit roles instead of having a very competent woman in this role? So those are the 3 pilots we have launched. We want to present the first issue of the papers. So we are working on white papers, and we want to present the results, the first issue, during the Space Week. We will have 3 discussion panels during Space Week, 1 for each of these topics, where we are inviting people who have been working on the white papers, but also we want to have new ideas and fresh ideas to complete the view we have on these topics. So we will have these discussion panels. And afterwards, we are not stopping here, because it has been very successful. So we've found really great people working on these topics, and they've done an amazing job in a very, very short time. So again, thank you for your contribution, because it has been completely unexpected, the kind of results we could achieve in a so short time frame. And we will go on working on these topics, and we will also start some new working groups also very soon. So stay tuned if you want to also get involved in these in the present working groups or in the future ones. So now I will let the working group number 1 related to or who covers the STEM education, and Patricia Ferrada and Vicky Hall will be introducing or give you some tips or some hints on what we are covering in this first paper.
Thank you very much, Diana, and hello to everyone. Thank you again for joining us today. My name is Vicky. I work for Aerospace, a corporate member of Women in Aerospace Europe, and I'm here with Patricia as well, who I'll hand over to in a moment as well to introduce herself. And we're representing, as Diana said, the STEM Education Working Group. Just to recap, STEM stands for science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, and those are the subjects we're covering. And it's a very well-known acronym. Unfortunately, possibly for some negative reasons, particularly as we talk about STEM skills gap and in STEM education, the fact that there's such a low uptake of these subjects throughout school and throughout the whole education process. For the last few decades, it's been very well known that all European countries really suffer similar issues in this low uptake of STEM, right from primary schools, from very early years education through to secondary schools, through into university. And of course, it then affects the future workforce, and that we don't have enough researchers, enough scientists, enough STEM professionals across a whole range of careers, particularly the aerospace sector. And we're in this leaky pipeline, we're losing brilliant potential right from the very early stages in primary school education. So to top it all as well, what we found and what we are encountering and exploring is that these issues are more prevalent for women and for minoritized groups, dropping out of sciences and STEM fields quicker than men, in particular, and at an earlier stage than men as well. So, of course, as members of an organisation devoted to women in the aerospace sector, we want to tackle these situations, and particularly looking at the experiences from the members in the working group that all brought us here. That is, our experiences right from school education through our careers to where we are today, and how we can help young people and enable more young people to pursue STEM careers, but also how we can enable our stakeholders, our members and our partners to also get involved and to make a difference in how we can meaningfully enact change. So it's enabling young people from all backgrounds to pursue STEM, and how we can support sustainable connections between the current workforce, that is all of you here today, and the future workforce, the next generation. So of course, these issues have been prevalent for some time now, and this has brought about many initiatives, many interventions, some of which have been successful, but the situation still hasn't changed significantly. How come this is the case? This is what we're really trying to get to the bottom of. And we know for a fact, of course, as well, that STEM careers are deeply connected to the well-being of society as a whole, being critical thinkers, being innovators, solutions for the 21st century, and all these crucial skills as well, and understanding the universe around us. So the only way forward is to promote these STEM careers in a meaningful and relevant way for the next generation, with the inspirational context of space in particular, and how we can do this with the vital help of our professionals. So how have we approached this? I'll hand over to Patricia to tell you a little bit more.
So hello everyone, I'm Patricia, and I've been working alongside Vicky and the rest of the working group, magnificent members, to bring you this white paper on the Space Week. So as Vicky said, these are some of the reasons why WIA has launched the STEM Education Working Group. Built up by members with unique experiences from engineers to teachers, we have collaborated over the last few months to combine our knowledge and perspectives to not only diagnose the core issues, but actually propose solutions to enact change. So after decades of work on this topic, with an abundance of meaningful results and useful conclusions, the WIA STEM Education White Paper aims at summarizing the most common issues across Europe, helped by practical cases with established solutions, and at presenting a plentiful set of recommendations, looking forward to helping as many entities as possible. This includes young students, particularly girls, parents, schools, universities, science-based companies, etc. So if you are keen on knowing more, come and join us on October the 7th for the white paper disclosure, surrounded by a group of panelists ready to provide their insights and expertise on STEM education from different points of view. We will be waiting for you.
Thank you.
Yeah, over to Diana.
Thank you a lot for this enthusiastic speech about your paper, but I really, when you will read the papers, you will see that it's not just a promotion, but it's really a lot of content inside, and they are really, it's a really interesting paper. So Now we will jump to the skill gap group, and Ines Sanchez will present us what they've been working on.
Thank you, Diana. Thank you, everyone, to join us here today. So I am Ines Sanchez, and I am here today representing the Women in Aerospace Europe Skills Gap team. And this working group started, on the one hand, to help the hiring organizations in the aerospace sector, to especially our corporate members, in finding solutions to the talent shortage by sharing a skills gap information with our partner and cooperating universities. But also, on the other hand, to inform our individual members about what kind of skills are demanded in our sector so that they really have more chances in their recruitment processes. The skills gap is a known and a relevant issue across Europe. Actually, in the European company survey in 2013, it was stated that around 40% of the firms in the EU were experiencing difficulties in hiring the right candidates. But this issue has increased its relevance during the past days and the past years. So because of 5 points. The first one, an expanding and rapidly diversifying sector demanding an increasing number of skilled employees. Number two, the uneven distribution of the aerospace industry and skills across Europe. Number three, the rapidly changing technology supported by digitalization and artificial intelligence. Number four, the retirement wave of expert workforce in the near future. For example, ESA identifies that between 2020 and 2030, 44% of the workforce will retire. Number five, the difficulty to attract talent to the sector, sometimes motivated by aspects like salary, working conditions, or interests. In the frame of this working group, we have developed a white paper in which existing studies have been analyzed and contrasted by a poll and a set of interviews that we have conducted with relevant companies of the industry. And in the white paper, you will see also a set of recommendations, and so shows how we are also committed to bridge this gap. So this white paper is the first milestone of our group, and it will be presented on the 5th of October at 1 o'clock during the Worldspace Week. The event will consist of a panel discussion with relevant participants of the industry. The group of the discussion will be very diverse. We will count with Jason Marsnaden, UK Director of HE Space Operations. He has more than 20 years of experience in the area, so we believe his insights will be very valuable to us. We will count also with Claudia Kessler. She is a WIA member and a co-founder and CEO of the Astronauting. She has been actively participating in encouraging women to achieve high roles, and on another hand, she has been participating on bridging this gap. We will also have in this panel one of our members, our team members, Sahana Shastri. She is currently working on her master thesis, and she will soon face the challenge to look for a job. This is very valuable to us because it's very important to see how new graduates what new graduates are facing when entering the job market. And on the other hand, we will have a mid-career employee to represent all these people that have more experience and they may want to change job, they want to change, maybe to change to another industry. And what challenges do they face when trying to upskill themselves to the new demanded skills in the industry? So we believe that in our panel, this event will be just a great chance for all of us to talk about skills gap. Why do we have this issue? Why is a skills gap a relevant topic to our industry? How it is really affecting our industry? What actions can we take as a company, as an individual, as an organization, or as a university to bridge this gap? And also, more importantly, how women can really help in bridging this gap. Thank you very much.
Thank you a lot, Ines. So it will be also a very, very interesting panel, as you have heard. So very interesting panelists that will bring a good, I think, all the different point of view we can have on this topic. And then we will have our last working group for today. It's a working group who has been working on the issue of women accessing C-suite positions. And I let Véronique Glaude tell us more about it.
Thank you, Diana, and thank you all. It's exciting to know that all the groups have done passionate work. So ours also. We were 5 from different backgrounds. I'm from WIA, Switzerland, and we've been super happy to work past three months on this passionate, very important topic. And actually, our WIA group was especially curious to see the impact of the recent development of space on the woman space professional having the capacity to lead at C-suite level. Because we speak about the mega constellations, new startups with the small satellites, the lunar, the Mars exploration. And there's so many professional women in the space environment in Europe that we wanted to know what is happening for them and which opportunities they may have. So we know that women's representations has been a topic of work for HR departments for maybe 20 years now. But we wanted to explore and to know really what is happening. What are the results of representations of women today in C-suite level in Europe? So this white paper is in this white paper, actually, we as a group, we are talking about the threat of the leaky pipeline effect at C-suite level and the persistent biases that slow progress down and most of all consume so much of our energy, all our professional life. So the group identifies that, as Diana said, that to move forward, we have to have a systemic approach at all levels. So with that perspective, we explored how governments can contribute to accelerate the progress of the number of women at C-level. We discussed 6 strategies for organizations who want to develop and retain the top female talent. And finally, we share 7 ways for women who want to rise at the top and to set themselves for the success, simply. And all that is in our white paper. So we encourage you to read the white paper and to attend the panel to further challenge and discuss all those ideas and discussion we had among us. So we are happy to open the group to everybody. So thank you, Diana.
Thank you, Véronique. Thank you to the 3 working groups. So I've had the pleasure to be involved in the creation of this paper. So I know many details, and I'm really thrilled to be able to share that soon with the full community. So for practical information, so we will send an email to the participants to this session. So with details on the working groups, on the white papers, also on the upcoming panel, so with the dates and the panelists, on how to access the white papers, and also, I don't know if in this email or maybe another one, also on the next white papers we want to work on. And before closing this practical, so before going to the questions, I wanted also to give again the opportunity to Maruška Strah to tell us a little more about what other activities or other topics she thinks she can highlight for the World Space Week, because it's going to be really, really interesting.
Thank you. So from last year on, we've been noting a very large number of high-level and virtual events. So we are believing that this year is going to be similar. If you go to our website and you check the calendar, you can already see several events being registered. What we are also going to do is create a highlight section like we do every year. And we're going to be posting big events, very interesting events or special events there. So you are free to check that out. And please join any public events that you can. If you want to organize yours, let us know. We will promote them on social media as well. in the same way we're going to be doing with WIA events, because we're also going to be present there and participate and listen to this very interesting discussions that I think we are going to witness in a couple of weeks, and I'm really, really excited about that. So we know that there will be many organizations putting together panels on women in space, highlighting different issues and also different solutions. So I think that one important aspect also of these working groups is that we're not focused on the problems, but really on the solutions. All these working groups, all these events, all these panels are really showcasing what has been done, what women are contributing. We are not playing victims. We are not talking about superiority of one over the other. We are really discussing gender equality. We are focused on SDGs in our organization, and the SDG 5 and gender equality has been of great importance this year. And what we noticed was a great support of men and women for this. It's really a conversation, how to include everyone. We also know that it's not just about sciences, right? I'm coming from international relations background. So space really is for everyone. So one of the things that we want to showcase this year is really showing that everyone has a place here if they want it. And of course, if there are conditions for this met, that you can enter. So events this year hopefully will highlight that and you know, inspire the next generation to join and inspire especially younger girls to be more interested and to participate in these events. And we'll see in a couple of years if we were successful.
We'll definitely be joining many of the events. We are really thrilled. It's a great initiative what you are doing with World Space Week, and especially this year. So from our association, we are especially interested in the topic. So
I have to jump in here and say that we are dedicating our work to women in space this year, but this is not something that we're going to stop talking about on October 10. The same way we're not stopping talking about other topics and themes that we had in the past, because these are very correlated and interconnected topics that we have, because you cannot have progress without one or the other. So we are excited about this partnership, and it is of great importance to us, and we are looking forward to working with you in the future as well.
Thank you, Maruška. This is a very important point that we just forget in our conversations, but it's something that doesn't stop just with the activity this year. So from all what we have seen, I wanted to put that into context. So the fact is that we are having some huge challenges for humankind in the next years. And with diversity, we can help a lot innovation, and we can also access the talent pool that is otherwise not accessible if women are not participating. And always from the aerospace sector, we are really involved in this humankind, of these challenges of humankind. So we really can do something about the future of humanity from where we are working on. So you have the power in your hand to change things. Each of us has this power. So please join the World Space Week meetings and join our panels and join our working groups if you want. And we will try to give you, through these working groups, the tools you need to do the nice actions, the right ones, to change things. Thank you a lot for joining today. Now we will pass through questions. So if you have any question, please post it in the chat, and we will try to answer them.
Hey, I have a question and a statement I would like to do. And in terms of Maruška, she said the space is for all, and space is for all, and then you will mention diversity inclusion. For me, I found that the aerospace industry is not for all. I feel like for privileged white women on the top, not disabled women, Black women, trans women. It doesn't include anyone. And recently, I found myself doing presentation for CERN for 2 hours regarding diversity inclusion. This is really shameful. which I found it extremely depressing, which they aim in terms of, I would like to be in leadership, women would like women to be in leadership. Okay, when I look at the all leadership, it just privileged white women in the top, not the disabled woman, not the trans woman, not normal, a white woman coming from lower background. And then I look at all the certain employee, I look at all the certain employee or this woman crossing the door, they're all privileged. So I said to myself, okay, I've seen all the company, I've seen UMSA, I've seen all aerospace industry, Rolls-Royce, I've seen, you name it, every organization. Space is not for all, only for space, this woman the top, not for disabled, not for Black women, not for Latino, any background other than those on the top. So I feel like this is an organization, it should work, it shouldn't work. You need to put an agenda when you say spaces for all, not only for specific white women, specific only educated, they managed to manage, they had a back, they had somebody back on the team to promote, to get in the position, not only for them. If you are trying to access to say, to talk about all women, you need to talk about Black women, you need to talk about disabled women, you need to talk about trans women, gay women, everyone. So I feel myself like wherever I go, I am the only one. Like, okay, when we talk about diversity inclusion, for me, I was brought up in England. When I say diversity inclusion in London, I see those. Not specific. When you go to Europe or those big organizations, I don't see diversity. I don't see all women at the top represented. Only specific, the one person woman, which are on the top, they managed to get in. So this is my statement. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I don't get your name. It's Sewidi. So
Dodi. My name is Dodi.
Dodi. Okay. Thank you, Dodi. I think it's
yes.
a very, very important point, and that's why, so at least in our association, we have very different backgrounds. We have also different sexual orientations. We have different people from different countries. We want to work also with the STEM. Is important also to include, as you say, people who don't have the luck to have parents working, for example, in the aerospace industry, but just people who are very talented and who otherwise would not access aerospace. So we are trying to give, with our initiatives, access to all talented persons, whatever their diversity, let's say. And so that's why it's important to hear this kind of statements, that we have the opportunity also to share that. So yes, we definitely need to contribute on this, and that's what we are trying to do.
I'm not expecting you to fight for Black women. I'm not expecting you global South woman originated. I expect there will be a sense of racism, discrimination in there. I don't see any white woman standing up questioning, where are the Black women? Where are the Latino women? I don't see anyone. This find it really frustrating. You talk all the time about diversity, women. You are not including everyone. Disabled women, where are the disabled women? Then I question myself, where are the disabled? They like to promote, they like to talk about women. I said, okay, where are the disabled women?
Well, when we talk about spaces,
everybody, may I intervene now as we are discussing you raised very important point, Zeweli. My name is Luisa Giulichi. I'm the president of Women in Aerospace. And let me first praise all the working group and the sponsors and the leader of this group that in 2 months put together very valuable work with these 3 white papers and something we can build on. The points that you are raising, Zewedi, are really, how can I say, really true. And it's not just in Europe, in the US, as you know, they are dwelling with the same question. Where are the Latinos? Where are the Black or different races in the workplace, in the aerospace workplace? Okay, so we as women in aerospace, we are fully aware of that. And we talk about women. We don't specify if the origin or the sexual orientation. And this is our inclusion. We include all, I think what we are saying, also what we are saying in these papers is valid for everybody. I hope so. And yet to a certain extent, certain statements that we promote are valid even for men. So if there is a specific need to tackle, and there is a need to tackle certain minority within the minority, this is very welcome. And people like you can help us to better formulate and this type of, let's say, narrative. But we are not discriminating anybody. Actually, we are including everybody. And we try to work for our community as best as we can. But I think even today, I'm very pleased with the work that has been done, and you will be able, you will read the papers that have been, that will be distributed soon, and see that probably you recognize a lot of the statements that are made. You will endorse it, I believe, from what I heard from you so far. And I hope you will feel.
No, I'm not accusing. I'm not accusing at all, Luisella. No, not at all. I'm not. But I would like to put that statement, because when I found it really frustrating in a sense where disabled women, they are not represented and supported. You don't see them in leadership. That I found really frustrated.
I fully understand. This is the status, right now. And 10 years ago or 20 years ago was, trust me, worse. I don't want to bring personally, my personal experience into that right now, but there has been some progress. It's clear that we are not there. If we were at the point of achieving our objectives, we wouldn't be there. And this is my dream, that this organization doesn't exist anymore at some point, because there is no need for it. So,
hi, can I?
One second. So I first would like to say that we should all follow what Shehena is doing. So raising your hand when you want to participate, because we are doing that a lively meeting. Yeah. And just to close for the previous intervention, just please join one of our working groups or propose one, and we will be really keen in trying to work also on this topic, or to present it also in the papers. So please, Shehena.
Yeah, I just want to add on to what Sivati was saying. It's from my perspective, but maybe it may not be the same for all. So basically, I'm an Indian working in Germany as an aerospace engineer. And after my master's, when I started looking for the jobs, there is this point where I had problems because I'm not an EU citizen. And I have a feeling this may also kind of go towards not having women of different races into the top positions, even in EU or in US, because you always try to get people into the industry, because then you have a lot of security clearances required, you need a lot of paperwork, you need a lot of other background checks, which some companies don't want to spend their time on. And there were like occasions where you were passing all the interviews, but just because they have an European candidate, they went for it because it is easier for them, and it is very understandable. But when this happens, I have a feeling that, people from other races who is not an European national, even though they have been living for a while, they kind of miss out. And then it is more easier for the European white women to go up to the top because they have an advantage of the nationality. And also, if you look into all the EU projects, or they take in only EU members, which is also understandable because they get money from the different countries, so they have to have the allocation. But when it comes to this not having different mixed people into the industry, do you think this may be also one of the reasons? To be true, I don't know how we can have a workaround with it, because there's more other factors in play, like politics and money and financial agreements. But I don't know, this might be one of the reasons. It's just an observation. I don't have a question or an answer.
Okay, thank you, Shehena. Anybody else you wanted to contribute? Any question?
I have a comment.
I raised my hand. Okay.
Rizela, can I just jump in for a second, please? Yeah. In our association, we strive to make sure that World Space Week is open for everyone, and it is. We take a very strong position on not taking positions, because we acknowledge the fact that we are coming from different backgrounds, from different cultures, from different religions, from different geographical regions. We do not all have the same access, obviously. That should not mean that space is not for everyone. But the reason why we chose women in space as a topic is the first step in having this conversation. We knew that we're not gonna be achieving gender equality or general equality when it comes to money, when it comes to social status and politics overnight. It's a long process. Nothing worth fighting for happens overnight. You really have to take the time. The fact that we can even have this discussion and highlight the fact that there are differences, even between women, even in Europe, even between Europe and India, for example, like you just mentioned, means that we are privileged enough that we have the option, the ability to speak up and come up with solutions. And I believe that this is very, very important. 50 years ago, or maybe 20 years ago, we did not have this option. I know I didn't, I was too young. Now I actually can speak up. And the fact that we have women who can highlight these issues means that we can actually find solutions.
Yeah, a very important point. Thank you, Maruška. Luisela, you wanted to add something?
Just echoing what you were saying, that if there is interest in, let's say, if there are, the community feels that there are topics that is worth to explore and work on, please contact us, and we are really willing to deepen our, let's say, our knowledge, and also trying to find solutions tailored to these specific topics.
Yes, thank you, Luisela, for this precision. Sahana?
Thanks, Diana. Just wanted to add a quick comment. I think it might even answer both the previous statements. So Zavidi and Shana, I'm Indian and I'm a woman of color. And I've constantly been focused on the things that were holding me back, and somehow being in women in aerospace in general has made me notice how to take a more solution-oriented approach and not focus on the problem somehow. I understand it can be frustrating. I've been in many, many situations where I just felt like giving up and not understanding. I have my own strengths and weaknesses, but I don't know how to deal with bureaucracy. I don't know how to deal with someone being racist or something like that. But the reason why I was on this working group was to somehow look past this and try to come towards a solution. And I can say that I've learned to speak up in some situations because of this working group. I've learned to find a more solution-oriented approach because of this working group. And I cannot control how someone treats me, but I can control how I can feel about it and how I can deal with it. And I think it's really important that everyone gets this opportunity to feel like they can look past the problem to a more better approach. So I have to recommend that you join one of the working groups or work on a similar situation where you have a platform where you can share how you feel about it, and maybe also somehow help with that for yourself.
Yeah, thank you, Sahana. So it's what we were trying to say at the beginning. So when we are working on any of these inclusion and diversity topics, like the one we are focusing on, in fact, what we do and what we help is to tackle any diversity topic, because we're working on biases, and at the end, many of the issues come back to unconscious biases. So the points you've raised, Sahana, that well, being involved in such working group is helping you to move forward. I think it's really important to underline. So we have here Liurex wanted to speak as well.
I think it's Sylvia from. I can only see the Liurex name as well. Sorry.
I'm Sylvia. It's okay. I'm not on my computer. Sorry. So it's not my name. Okay, I'm Silvia. I'm a teacher from Spain, and I have been working in the STEAM working group with education. And I think that I'm really happy that Maruška talked about this open to everybody, because I think that one of the problems of, you were talking about inclusion and diversity, is because sometimes there is this thing that Vicky said about the linking pipe. I mean, there is a lot of people that gets in the process that doesn't arrive up because they don't have the same opportunities, the same background. And I think it's very important, and I think we have been working and talking about that in the group, that connection of WIA with the ground, with the schools, and encouraging girls to go up and to believe in themselves. I think it would be a great solution, because if you don't do it from the base, I mean, they are not going to go up. So I think that personally, I think that we should make some work about with stakeholders or whatever to go to the ground, to try to contact with teachers, with the schools, with the organisms that go in contact with them in different countries, to go and do activities there. Because I think that the solution of arriving people to the top is that you have a great mass of people that are interested in the space, in the ground. And I think this is, for me, I've had the luck to participate, and I think it's very important that more teachers and more organizations, education organizations, are in contact with you and have this opportunity to know and to have events and everything. So I think, I mean, this is all of these ideas, a great idea. I really like it. I'm so happy to participate. And I think if we move forward and we have more contact, I mean, as Maruška said, it's going to be time to the people arrive there, but that has to be done from the base, and that's what I think at least. Thank you.
Thank you, Patricia. Anybody else want to comment, contribute? No, otherwise, so we will close the event of today. 130 seconds for the shy people. Okay, Artemis. Go ahead, please, Artemis.
Yeah, something practical. If you change your name in a Zoom session, it doesn't actually change the name of the whole computer Zoom thing, just for that one session. Next time you start up, you'll be, is it Liurex again, or whatever is there? I know, because for various Zoom sessions, I keep having to change my name. So that's why I know, because not always Artemis Westerberg is what I want it to say. And so, yeah.
So thank you for the practical tip. And this is the kind of tips you will get also in our association. So from very strategic one to very practical ones that make your life easier. And we are really a community for sharing. So for sharing pain, but also for sharing solutions, which we think it's a more positive way. Also, Maruška underlines many times. So that's also what WordSpace Week wanted to do. So thank you today, all of you, for joining. As we said, we will share the next steps with the working groups per email. And don't hesitate to contact us. So we will contact, we've seen in the chat many nice ideas and possible collaboration. So we will contact you. And again, remember that each of us, we can do something to make the things better. Thank you. Bye-bye.